Good morning and a very Merry Christmas to everyone at home. Right now, you're looking live across the country at Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, New York City, Lauderdale by the Sea, Florida, and Brighton, Michigan, each courtesy of EarthCam. Thank you so much for waking up with us. Feliz Navidad, everyone. I'm Nick Smith. We're so grateful to have you join us this morning. So as you open those gifts, we're going to bring you all the news you need to start your day. Let's jump right into it. Right now, millions are driving and flying to open their presents and sit down for a Christmas meal with family, friends, and loved ones. We're live tracking problem areas at airports and highways, plus a look at the damage from a powerful storm that's bringing flash flooding and mudslides to parts of the West. And if you want to talk about Christmas miracles, someone will find out today that they are almost $1 billion richer, where the winning ticket for the second largest Powerball jackpot ever has been sold on Christmas Eve. And at the Vatican, it's Pope Leo's first Christmas as the leader of the Catholic Church. Hear what he wants everyone to keep close to their heart in his first Christmas address to the world. But first this morning, as millions of Americans unwrap their presents, many more are hitting the road and taking to the skies to try to get home and to their destinations. We're looking live at San Francisco International Airport and the roads in Raleigh, North Carolina. Wicked weather out west and a record number of travelers this season are making the last-minute dash home for the holidays, and it may prove to be a challenge for some. NewsNation's Marcus Espinosa is live from Newark Liberty International Airport. Marcus, good morning. I have to believe that the highways may be a problem for some, but the airports today may be a little bit lighter.
Hey, Nick, so that wasn't originally the thought that we had this morning, but on the way here, in fact, the roads were pretty empty, and now a line is, in fact, building behind me here. But about a 15-minute wait to get through TSA right now here at Newark International Airport at Terminal A. But all things considered, everything's on time from what I can see on the big board. But still, there's that mad dash to either get out of here and get back home to your workplace and where you live, or to, try to visit family for that one extra day there. Not a lot of folks, want to end their vacations and family visits, but they will have to. A lot of people heading home in the coming days. While today is expected to be easy, so we thought. So far, so smooth, though. Starting tomorrow, that's really the day we expect some issues. Airports and roads are going to be busy again. The return home comes on the heels of AAA's prediction that this year has been a record year for the number of holiday travelers. More than 120 million traveled more than 50 miles from home this season. That's up more than 2% from last year. So if you're flying home in the next few days, experts recommend getting to the airport early, staying up to date on any possible delays by installing airline apps on your phone. Again, we're expecting tomorrow, Nick, for that rush to really take place. But my photographer and I, Nick, we've been really surprised at the lines that are in Terminal A right now. But perhaps it's that before 8 a.m. flight rush. So
exactly.
We'll see how it goes the rest
Marcus,
of the
here's a question, though,
right.
Because now this turns everything upside down. Long lines now. Do you think there will still be long lines tomorrow, or do you think it may dissipate a bit?
I think tomorrow, I think this is a precursor now. And with live television, you gotta report what you see. And we're seeing longer lines here, but we do expect a lot of folks to still be hitting the roads. So that's something we are expecting. AAA is expecting that from basically December 20th until early January. We're seeing hundreds of millions of people travel. Gas prices are down. That's really a big part of it as well. So from the 20th to January 1st, more than 109 people are going to hit the road. And that gas price is averaging 20 cents less than it was last month. Prices haven't been this low since 2021, and that's really a nice surprise for a lot of folks hitting the road.
Extremely low. Normally it's higher during the holidays.
Love it. Absolutely. It was 237 up in Hobart.
Okay, so if you're a late riser on your day off, 11 a.m. to 8 p.m., those are going to be bad times to hit the road. It might be worth it to set that alarm clock early, get on the road by 7 o'clock, save yourself a bit of a headache there. In fact, sometimes, Nick, I even travel the night of, like after 9 p.m., just to kind of, have that empty road on the way home. That's worked out after I've had many, many cups of coffee.
Everything about you tells me, Marcus, that you're very responsible that way, whereas I'm one of those people who waits to the last minute. So there you go.
That's right.
Marcus, thank you so much. Officials are telling people in Southern California not to travel today as heavy rains bring flash flooding and mudslides to parts of Southern California. Check out this video from San Bernardino County, where a man filmed a helicopter rescuing his stranded neighbor from their roof as floodwaters rushed down the street. More rain is on the way today, and officials have declared a state of emergency in parts of SoCal for areas near Los Angeles and San Diego. Mudslides have swept away cars and washed out roads in many spots, leading to multiple pleas for help and emergency rescues from first responders. But today, in the south and central parts of the United States, folks could experience their warmest Christmas ever. Yeah, there's growing frustration on both sides of the aisle this morning, aimed squarely at the Justice Department. This as the public waits for the full release of the Epstein files. Republican Congressman Thomas Massie, who led the charge to unseal the documents, accusing the DOJ of making illegal redactions and not releasing all the files by last Friday's deadline. But the Justice Department says it's now in a situation where it has to comb through more than 1 million newly discovered documents related to the case. NewsNation's Hannah Brandt has the latest from the White House. Hannah, good morning.
Nick, good morning. People may be frustrated by this process for a bit longer because the Justice Department says it could be weeks before all of the Epstein files are released. They said that in a Christmas Eve post where they revealed that the DOJ was just informed the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York and the FBI had recently uncovered more than 1 million Epstein documents. And now the department says its lawyers have to review and make redactions to protect victims, which is a process that could take weeks. Now, this all comes amid some intense pressure from the public, from Epstein survivors, and from lawmakers on both sides of the aisle. All of those people accusing the Justice Department of breaking the law for failing to release all of the files by the deadline Congress set. Now, Democrats lead on the effort. Congressman Ro Khanna suggests he's not satisfied with the department's most recent statement. He says that he and other lawmakers are going to keep pressing the agency, pointing out that the Justice Department only said all this after lawmakers threatened them with contempt. And earlier Wednesday, a group of 11 senators called for an inspector general to audit the DOJ to look into why exactly it missed that file release deadline. Remember, that law that Congress passed also requires the DOJ to explain all redactions. We've heard a lot of frustration from lawmakers saying they don't really believe that that's something that's been done, Nick.
And then, Hannah, we're even seeing some situations where people have been able to read through the redactions using different pieces of software. What are we learning, though, from this latest batch of files released just this week?
Well, there are a few new takeaways from those 30,000 newly released documents, one of them being a file that was released, which was an email from an FBI official after Epstein's 2019 arrest, where it asked for a status update on the, quote, 10 co-conspirators. So this email chain basically suggests that investigators were looking into 10 other people who may potentially be connected to Epstein's crimes, obviously of high interest there. The new document dump also including an email from a federal prosecutor which says President Donald Trump traveled on Epstein's private jet, many more times than was previously known. Plus, there was another document that reveals a tipster told Florida police back in 2001 that Epstein associate Ghislaine Maxwell was recruiting young women to work at his home. And that's significant because it's before Epstein's arrest. That tip also said some of those girls had been complaining of inappropriate touching from Epstein. Now, the DOJ has not said exactly when the next file release will be, but a lot of people watching closely and waiting for that to happen, Nick.
Hannah, that the pressure from both sides of the aisle will remain. Hannah Brandt live at the White House. Hannah, good morning. Thank you. Let's bring in our panel, Nate Lerner, Democratic strategist, and Angie Wong, Republican strategist. Good morning to you both. I just ended speaking with Hannah, talking about how we know that there's pressure from both sides of the aisle demanding a full release of these documents. Last night, our NewsNation's Chris CUOMO called out the DOJ, releasing a purported letter from Epstein that turned out to be fake and says the file rollout is only creating more questions. Let's take a listen and chat on the other side, Nate.
Perception is reality on this, okay? It really is what you want it to be. They've released nearly 30,000 pages. Okay. Did you want a lot of pages? Oh, great. So are you satisfied? Of course not, right? It's about what's in them. A lot of redactions.
Nate, there seems to be a lot of back and forth over what's in there, what's not in there, the DOJ releasing, not releasing. Do the Democrats run the risk of overplaying their hand?
No, I don't think so. Not at all. I think quite the contrary. If anything, this is an issue the Democrats need to keep pushing and pressing on because the public wants to know. Voters on both sides have shown that this is something that they want to hold the president, they want to hold this administration, they want to hold those involved accountable, regardless of their political party. And this is a very important scandal. This is a very defining scandal, not just for Trump, but for our entire nation. And it's incredibly important that we hold those in power, those who are elites within our country, who have committed these crimes and gotten away with it for decades even, to hold them accountable. And we're really pulling back the curtain now on all that's been going on behind the scenes and all the lying that we've had. And this administration claims to be the most accountable in history. So let's see them put their money where their mouth is. And I think this is the scandal that just keeps going on. The longer this drags on, the worse Trump's looks, the more it's going to hurt him in the midterms in 2028 as well.
Angie, this is not about President Trump so much as GOP also wants truth and transparency. This is not unique to Democrats.
No, it's not. Both sides want it. Thomas Massie certainly wants these files released. So does Marjorie Taylor Greene. Look, you got to look at the two parallels here. On the one hand, you have Democrats really pushing hard for all of these files to be released. Why? Because come January 13th and 14th, you have Bill and Hillary Clinton going in for depositions with James Comer on these Epstein files and their involvement with Jeffrey Epstein. They want a preview of what's going to happen when the House committees pull them in to discuss Jeffrey Epstein. Well, we're not going to give them that. And I think Todd Blanche, who is an incredible civil litigant, he knows to drip all these files in little batches so that it's delayed to the point where it goes beyond January 13th when they first have their depositions. He's not going to give the Clintons a preview.
Angie, are the Republicans, though, missing, or the GOP specifically, missing an opportunity here when we see that this level of frustration is growing, particularly when we see the resignation of Marjorie Taylor Greene?
I don't know if we see I don't know if it's really growing in that sense. Yes, right now the media has spent over 1,000 minutes bashing Trump and making him look like Jeffrey Epstein's best friend. I think that narrative is going to change pretty quickly as these files are released. Marjorie Taylor Greene, again, that's anomaly. We're not sure what that's about, why she's resigning for all sorts of reasons, not just for Jeffrey Epstein files, especially being in Congress for 5 years. So I think that there is a break. We do want an end to the story. We've been reporting on the story for over 5 years. I think it's time to have some closure, and the American people want to know, so release the files. But it's going to drip until the Clintons are pulled into their depositions finally.
Nate, is Angie right? Is this the media simply trying to make Mr. Trump and Mr. Epstein look like they were best friends, and we're painting a picture, the media collectively, that just does not exist?
I don't think there's much the media is doing. I mean, and Trump is literally one of the most named figures in the Epstein file. So I think to blame the media is absolutely absurd. He's literally photographed repeatedly. He's mentioned repeatedly in the files, and that doesn't include all the redacted documents as well, which we've seen there are many. That doesn't include all the files that haven't been released, which are many. And the fact that Republicans even continue to keep mentioning the Clintons and saying that they're somehow has something to do with them, and that this is why the Democrats care, or that this is really the real story, is absolutely laughable, because there isn't a single Democrat you'll find who is defending Bill Clinton right now. There isn't a single Democrat you'll find in Congress who cares that Bill Clinton is in the Epstein files, and that's why they're trying to stop them. The Democrats want transparency. They want the truth. We're going to hold our own people accountable. And the problem is that we do not see that on the Republican side. Really, this is the first time ever that Trump has been actually held accountable for something by his own party. Yet there are still plenty of influencers, plenty of leaders within the party who continue to stand by him. And guess what? It's only going to blow up in their face. Look at Pam Bondi. Look at Kash Patel. This is what happens when you stand by this man, when you're still loyal to him in the face of such obvious corruption. It's going to blow up and backfire. So I wish best of luck to everyone who's continuing to stand up for him.
Well, one thing is definitely true, Nate and Angie, that with the release of up to 1 million more files pending, more information is definitely due to come. Nate Lerner, Angie Wong, thank you both for joining me this morning, and Merry Christmas to you and your families.
Merry Christmas.
One lucky person will have a very Merry Christmas thanks to some lucky lotto numbers. What we know about the $1.8 billion winner and the history this drawing has made. Plus, we can tell you who didn't win. This guy, this Grinch and his buddy creating a blast of debris and damage at a convenience store while people were still inside. And they may have gotten away with that ATM at first, but coming up, how their plan was foiled.